Yes, welcome to the Ale and Audio Xmas special. Thanks for staying tuned and listening to us today, or watching us if you're watching us on YouTube. So I'm trying to get round and speak to as many of our contributors to the podcast as possible in this episode. And one person who has absolutely made this show just go from strength to strength in the year 2023 is Joe from Brew Club Hull. How are you doing, Joe?
Hello. I'm very well.
Good.
How are you?
Yes, I'm also very well, thank you.
Good.
Great to have you on. Firstly, I've got to say, absolutely massive congratulations. Another round of applause for how well Desert Island Beers has been received this year. Not only that, but how much you've actually done. I mean, I think on last check, and believe me, I've got a spreadsheet now because I've come up with a quiz for you in a second. But we're on volume 20. We got to volume 28, and obviously, as of today's, would have been volume 29. So that is an incredible achievement. I think you started. What did you start doing this? Was it January? Was it February?
I was trying to think of this earlier, but I honestly can't remember. I've just lost track of time. I just know it's been going for a while. I didn't think it'd go this long, to be honest.
It's certainly coming up to a year.
I'd say so. Yeah.
And thank you so much, because I mean, I know it's one of my favorite parts of the show. It's one of the parts of the show that I try and keep secret from myself. Although I do a bit of the editing, I have to try and keep a little bit of it secret so I can listen back to it in full. And your intros, I don't listen to that until the show actually goes out. And your intros are what make it as well. It's such a short, snappy, fun feature. It gets everyone involved, whether you're a pub sheddy, whether you're a beer lover. We've had celebrities on, which has been absolutely. I never even thought that would be the case, but yeah, we've had the likes of Adam Ricketts from Dexter and Jones. Obviously a former pop star. Well, he's a pop star in his own right, but obviously an actor as well. From Coronation Street, he's got his own bar along with his wife Katie and all that. She's a journalist and everything. So that was amazing. And then obviously we managed to get Everly Pregnant Brothers Sean on as well, lead singer. And then David Rotheray recently as well. The beautiful South singer, songwriter, guitarist. Just honestly, absolutely amazing. And we had Grant Dobbs. Is it Grant Dobbs as well from the
from the Paddington?
It just keeps going, doesn't it? The list keeps going, and then obviously all of our amazing pub sheddies, beer lovers as well. Simon from Real Ale Craft Beer, who's got tons of YouTube followers and stuff like that. All helping sort of grow the the reputation and get the word of the podcast out there. So thank you for, in your way, spreading cheer and beer.
No, I really enjoy it. Like I say, I just wanted to get like a mixture of guests, like beer lovers, pub sheddies, maybe like people in bands, YouTubers as well, because I think we sometimes forget about the YouTube side. There's a lot of people out there reviewing beers and stuff. And like going back to Simon on YouTube, like he's somebody I've been watching for a long time, and I buy beers based on his reviews, you see. So it was an honor to have him on.
Absolutely, it really was. And he's someone that, when you said you were having him on, you got him on the show. I was like, really? Because this is the guy who, when I bought my pump, my Pints 365 pump, when I got my sub machine, my physics machine, anything, when I was buying anything for this pub shed, if it was something sort of beer pump related, his were the first videos I'd go to. Even putting mini kegs onto the Pints 365, one of his first videos he did of that went completely wrong and sort of splurted out everywhere in his face and everything. But it was brilliant because he did another video after and got it, working perfectly. And then since then, I've sort of followed that advice. So having people like that on the show, it's great.
He's quite untouchable as well. So I'm surprised we did get him, because even when I managed to make contact with him, he thought I was a scammer and just totally blocked me. And I know that you had to then get his answers from him in the end, and he totally apologised.
This is it. So, if anyone else happens to be listening, if Joe from the Brew Club Hull does contact you, he's not a scammer. He's a very nice man.
I'm not after your money. I don't need no crypto coins or anything like
that. Well, anyway, once again, I just want to say absolutely massive thank you to you for all of that hard work. I do love Desert Island Beers. Definitely one of my favourite parts of the show. And long may it continue.
Thank you for asking me. Yeah, I absolutely love doing it. So yeah, I hope it does continue.
Excellent. Now, what I want to do now is, while we've got you on as part of our Pistmas special on the Ale and Audio podcast, is I want to play a little game with you. Okay, so it's time for Desert Island Beers, the quiz. Are you ready for this, Joe?
Here we go. Yeah, I've been studying all day.
You've been studying. So I've got a quiz, and it's all based on the Desert Island Beers feature that we've been running since like January, sort of February time. Like I said, over 29 different people have been on this. And in some cases, it's more because obviously some people did a double, didn't they? So we had Dave and Andy on at the same time, done Buckety Skure, Ruin and Alan on at the same time. So lots of people have been involved in this, lots of different answers. And I've kind of crunched the numbers a little bit, and I've got some quiz questions to aim at Joe. How well does Joe know his own Desert Island Beers feature?
Oh, no pressure then.
We'll find out. Okay, first question then. In the last episode of Desert Island Beers, Rate My Beer 1 said that his first ever alcoholic drink was Harvey's Bristol Cream Sherry. My question is, which other beer lover on Desert Island Beers said that this was also their first ever alcoholic drink when they accidentally drank it, not knowing what it was, at the age of 5? Now, your possible answers, Joe, are John at the Taylor Tavern or Sean of the Everly Pregnant Brothers.
I think I know it. I think it was Sean.
What makes you think that?
I kind of recall the story that was behind it, because he had some crazy stories. I know that obviously John's was the Halloween special, and there was something. I'm trying to think. Actually, I don't know. I'm sure there was a story with John with this. Do you know what? I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to go for John. I've just had a little bit of a flashback. I think it was John, you know.
Okay. Is you sure you're happy with that? You're locking it in?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to kick yourself.
Oh, you know what swayed me a little bit? I've just remembered it wasn't the Sherry story. It was is it Mateus? The Mateus?
You're right. Mateus
Yeah.
Rose, weren't it?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So that
starting off so well there.
That was John at the Tail Taverns. You were right, though. In the first instance, you kind of was drawn towards Sean, weren't you? Only because I
just had that bottle in my mind. You know, the picture of that little like antique sort of bottle.
Yeah, that's it. But no, you're right about Sean's story from the Everly Pregnant Brothers. Yeah, it was when he was 5 and he found a bottle, because he was tall. He managed to get a bottle off a shelf that he shouldn't have had, and then obviously he was fine at the end of it all. But
that's just one of Sean's many stories. I bet he's got loads.
I bet he has. Okay, next one then. So this is the next question, and you've got no multiple choice here, so you're gonna have to go for it and have a think about this. Which person said that they ended up with a nickname at school for a year following getting drunk for the first time on 2 cans of Diamond White? Who was this?
That was Judge Peggy.
Correct. Well done. Well done there, yeah. And she got the name Toucan Sharon.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
So we're going through all of these sort of desert island beer questions in the order that the questions get asked. So we've just done the questions about the first alcoholic drink, which is normally the first one.
Okay, yeah.
So now we move on to kind of the beer style. So the next question is about beer styles. And now name 2 of the 4 people who did Desert Island Beers who said stouts were their favourite style of beer. So there were 4 different people who said that stouts were their favourite beer style. Can you get at least 2 of them?
I think the most obvious is Miss Pastry Stout.
Correct, that's one.
Oh, God. Well, it definitely wasn't Dave.
We know that.
Was it Pablo?
Pablo? Is that a joke as well?
Do you know what? I'm sure there was something about a stout. Did he have a stout that he liked or something?
No, I think what you're thinking of, though, is when I think Pablo's over time started to like sours. So I think when he said in his Desert Island Beers that he were actually quite into sours now, that had kind of been a change from his original thoughts on sours. I think he'd grown to like them at the time. So that's also what you might be thinking.
I think he said in his Desert Island Beers that his favourite beer was a stout, and then said, "Oh no, I'm only joking."
He probably did that. Yeah, he probably did that because he definitely doesn't like stouts.
Do you know? I don't remember many people saying they did like stouts.
Well, you've got one. You've got one. Do you want to pluck one more name out of the air? See if you can get it.
Let's go for Andros Beer Selfies.
Okay. I can tell you that that is correct. Well
No
done.
way.
So your four people
Wow.
who said that they like stouts were Andros Beer Selfies,
Yeah.
Shed 62, Miss Pastry Stout, obviously, as you said, and also Sean of the Everly Pregnant Brothers. He kind of sort of said that his favourite style was dark beers, and that kind of
Yeah, I
included
remember that.
stouts, porters, but like Newcastle Brown as well, which is not quite a stout, but you know, it kind of covered it within the dark beer. So there you go. Yeah, you've got yourself some points there. That's good going.
Check me out.
Yeah. Next question, then, again relating to beer styles. Which two beer styles were the joint top most popular beer styles amongst those featured on Desert Island Beers? So, out of all the people who featured, what were the two standout styles that kind of led the way? We know that Stout's got 4 people saying that they,
Yeah.
you know, but bearing in mind we had like 30, well, probably about 30 different people giving answers to this. So, yeah,
Was one of them a dipper?
a dipper. And you want to say another one?
A New England IPA?
Okay, let's take a look. You got one of the two. Neepers, yeah, and lagers was the other one.
Do you know
Now,
what? I don't remember many people saying lagers.
well, in all fairness, I did sort of group some things together. So obviously, there's
Yeah.
various amounts of Neeper, different types of Neepers.
Mm,
Dippers alone was quite a common answer, but I
yeah.
also kind of put like people had said Hells, Pilsners, Lagers, so I kind
Okay.
of grouped them together. So to give us a better sort of better quiz question basically. But yeah, Neepers and Lagers tended to be the top two, whereas sort of stouts fell a bit further back.
Yeah.
So on as well, like DDH was another style as well that was
Mm.
mentioned quite a few times. So yeah, there we go. So you kind of got one of them right there. There you go. Next question then. Now we're on to the bits now about the best their desert island pubs, so the bars or the pubs that they'd go to if they could only go to one for the rest of their life. This question then: which beer lover said the one pub they would choose to go in for the rest of their life would be the Queen's Craft House in Doncaster, a pub which later appeared in our pub shed quiz after their speakers were stolen and replaced with rubbish ones by the culprits, which
I'm
happened
gonna
to
have
be
to go.
a total coincidence.
Go for Horny Shawnee.
Are you quite confident about that?
It's the Doncaster connection.
Yep, there you go.
There we
Horny
go.
Shawnee, congratulations. That is correct. Yep, well done. As we're moving to our next question. What was the most popular favourite spirit chosen by people on Desert Island Beers? And you've got some possible options here. It could either be gin, whiskey, or rum. So the
I
most
think I know
popular
this one
spirit.
because there
Yeah.
seemed to be when I started doing it. Obviously, the answers that I was getting back is I'm not really a spirit drinker, but if I do have a spirit, it always seems to be whiskey.
Yep. And you know what? I think in terms of the sort of spirits that mostly link back to beer, it is probably whiskey that's got
Yeah,
that sort of closest connection, hasn't it? So, yep, you are correct. That is the right answer, whiskey. But the other two, gin and rum, were the ones that followed sort of closely
yeah.
behind it, particularly those that like in the spiced rum and things like that. Okay. What was the most regularly chosen desert island brewery? So the question was to people: if you had to drink one brewery's beer for the rest of your life, possible answers here because there was some that cropped up a couple of times: Vault City, Vocation, and Northern Monk. But which one of those was chosen more than the others? Vault City, Vocation, or Northern Monk?
See, to me, I think it's between Vocation and Northern Monk, and I'm gonna go for Vocation.
Vocation. Can you remember any people who said Vocation?
I know who said Northern Monk, but I know we discussed the Northern Monk. In fact, no, was it Vocation we discussed at the Halloween special? Bread and butter.
It was.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna go for Vocation. So I know that John said Vocation. I seem to think that 1 minute beer review mentioned Vocation as well as like a gateway sort of beer to, it's the beer that I enjoyed and then got into craft beer.
So let's have a look then at what the answer. You said Vocation.
Yeah.
Vault City, you're correct. Vault City wasn't the most popular answer. However, a couple of people did say Vault City,
Right.
including Dave of the Hardy Arms. And I think that would have been a tough one for him because obviously he really likes his shiny brewery, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We went with Vault City. So Vault City got mentioned a couple of times. The actual answer, though, between Vocation and Northern Monk is it was
Ooh.
Northern Monk. You got that one wrong. But there wasn't much in it. Basically, 3 people said that over
I
the
can't
two
believe
from
Pablo
Vocation.
went for Northern Monk.
Yeah, that's it, because everyone expected him to say Overtone, but I think it was basically the can art. It was the can art that won it over for him with Northern
Yeah.
Monk.
I said the
But
guy dripping in Overtone is sponsored by him, isn't he?
that's it, yeah. But also Carl Intercraft said that crafty beer lad. Vocation was chosen by Taylor Tavern, and
Yeah.
also I believe Judge Peggy chose Vocation as well as her Desert Island Brewery. Okay, next question then. So Simon at Real Ale Craft Beer said that his Desert Island drinking album would be the best of David Bowie. But who also said the same thing? Possible answers are Drink and Wink, Miss Pastry Stout, or Mrs. Ruin from the Dumbuckety Schoolray.
I seem to remember that it was Miss Pastry Stout.
Okay, any reasons for that you remember that in particular?
I think Drink and Wink went for Oasis.
Okay.
And then Rowan seemed to think, oh, actually, this is...
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. There was 2 songs, wasn't there's AC/DC.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go for Miss Pastry Stout. I've just got a feel. I remember the song that came after it, and I'm sure
Okay.
it was.
So the answer is correct, Miss Pastry Stout.
I almost talked myself out of that one, man.
I was trying to send you down that route.
I'm trying to think what Rowan chose now.
So the reason, Mrs. She shows Miss Ruin shows 25 by George Michael.
George Michael, yeah.
But yeah, Miss Pastry Stout chose it, and it happened to be our dance music week. So we were trying to make sure we played
a remix, wasn't it?
So we did a remix of, I think it might have
That's
been possibly Just Dance, I think, or something else. But anyway, it worked really well because we could find a really good dance remix of a David Bowie song. So yeah, there we go. Miss Pastry Stout choosing that one. Next, I think we're staying on music next, as far as I'm aware. Yep. So this is relating to you, this one, Joe. You was on the very, very first episode of Desert Island Beers because we introduced it, we did it, and you answered the first questions, and then we sort of passed it on to you, didn't we? And say, go, Joe, you run like the wind, that kind of thing. Pass the baton sort of thing. So, Joe, in the first episode of Desert Island Beers, you said that your drinking album would be the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem. But who also... And I've ruined it. This is what I do. You already knew that one, all right?
Yeah. Because
so
when I've suggested songs in the past, people always think, "Oh, I'm surprised that Hop Sip and a Chug didn't go for that," because we have similar sort of interest in music. So yeah, Hop Sip and a Chug.
Yeah, I think you would have got that one anyway. But Hop Sip and a Chug also chose an Eminem album. I ruined that like I do for Dave and Andy in the quiz as well. But anyway, the others though that I put up as your possible options. Do you remember what Adam Rickett went for?
Oh man.
He had a bit of a brain wobble at the time, and he couldn't remember the name of the band.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to even think what Joe from the White Fox pub, because we did that live, if you remember.
We did, yeah, and I think you really liked Joe's choice as well, in particular.
Yeah, I did, and I'm trying to think. Wow, brain fog. I remember having a conversation about it with him after as well. I'm sure I did.
So I'll give you the answer for Adam Rickett. It was Nirvana, Nevermind.
That's the one, yeah.
But for Joe, it was Joe at the White Fox pub. It was 1 second. I can find it for you. It was Linkin Park. Jay-Z Collision Course. Because I think you was in agreement with that one, wasn't you? So
yeah, because I remember saying like how well done it was. The crossovers of music. Yeah. It's easy when you
Okay,
know the answers, isn't it?
that's it. Okay, then. Two people. Oh, I've done that. Two
I'm not
people.
looking.
You didn't look. You didn't look. You didn't
No,
look.
I'm not
Right.
looking.
1 second. Right. 1 second. I'll come back.
I
Right. So
wish this was for money, Jimbo.
two people named Sonoma as their from Track Brewery as their desert island beer. Can you remember who those two people were? Two people. So Track in Manchester, and two people named it as their desert island beer.
Right.
I don't think I gave it away actually, because for some reason I think I had the wrong answers up on the screen. So yeah.
Oh,
So
trying.
I haven't even given. I thought I'd given it away, but I haven't given it away. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. How for the life of me think about. I don't even remember. I don't. I don't even think I've even heard of this brewery before.
Oh, you Track Brew. You'll have seen them before. You'll recognize it's like a tea kind of thing. You'll have definitely seen them before.
Okay.
But the beer in question, Sonoma, is actually a very low ABV beer. So it was quite surprising that it was picked as a desert island beer because, the good thing, I mean, obviously it means that you can drink lots of it, which is why people
Yeah.
chose it. It's so sessionable. But for such a low ABV beer, it is absolutely packed full of taste. Absolutely brilliant. It's really good. And two people for that reason chose it as their beer. I can give you a clue. One of them is from Manchester, so it was quite a loyal choice. One of our Manchester-based pub sheddies or beer lovers, and the other one not quite Manchester, but not too far away.
It wasn't Judge Peggy, was it?
One of them was Judge Peggy, correct, and the other one. Gonna pass.
I'll pass. Yeah.
It was Andy Dunn.
No.
Yeah. It was strange as well because they seemed to be pretty much the week after each other, and they both said the same beer. So I remember them both saying, "Oh, they nicked me Desert Island beer" and all that kind of thing. So there we go. Okay, so that was that one, and we're on to your last question now. Then in Desert Island beers, the quiz. I think you've done quite well. You've got definitely more than half marks, but you know what I'm like.
Have I done better than Dave?
I rarely keep score, so yeah. You could step in for Dave, and we wouldn't even notice. Would you with you being twins and all that? So anyway. Last one then. Which brewery got chosen the most times as somebody's desert island beer? So this is not necessarily the same beer, but a beer by the same brewery. So which brewery managed to get most desert island beers, basically? Was it Augustina? Was it Vocation? Or was it Northern Monk?
I'm going to go for Augustina. I remember that coming up quite a bit.
And you would be correct. Great way to finish. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a funny one as well because I think the last two people said Augustina. And I'm pretty sure Simon from Real did start. No, Simon didn't say that. Simon said a Goose Island Stout, I think he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it seemed to be massively popular. A couple of people went for Augustina Hells, and someone went for the Augustina Bro, which I think might be a different one of their beers. It was 1 Minute Beer Review that went for the Augustina Bro. So there you go. It's one of the first ones.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, there we go. So well done, Joe. You've done very well in your very own Desert Island Beers, the quiz. And I just want to say massive thank you once again for everything you do for the podcast.
It's an absolute pleasure, honestly.
There is a bottle of Belgian Blue on its way in the post for you to enjoy at Christmas. So I hope to see a photograph of you enjoying it.
Brilliant. I'm also putting my order in this week for the Christmas jumper as well.
Oh, yes.
If it's late, it's okay. I'm having Christmas different this year. I'm working all Christmas. I'm not back until the 27th, so
you can wear it all the way through then.
I will do, yeah.
But yeah, so for anyone listening at the time, it probably might be a bit late to get your jumper in time for Christmas. But Joe, at the time of recording on the 12th of December, he's getting his Christmas jumper ordered. Good on you, Joe.
Can't wait.
But yeah, absolute pleasure. I hope you have a real good Christmas. I know you're working.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, and you.
I hope you find the time in between, with your family and to enjoy a few beers and all that. And
it'll be a strange one, but we'll still have fun. It's only a day at the end of the day, so we'll make up for it.
You will. I'm sure you will. Take care, mate.
And you, mate. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. Take care.